Very true, but let's talk the history of the White House. So, the White House has many ghosts, and the first ghost is named David Burns, who is the original owner of the 700 acres of land that the White House was initially built on. This right here is David Burns' original cabin, which would be on now 17th Street in modern day Washington, D.C. And one of these guys here is David Burns himself, along with a whole bunch of other gentlemen standing in front of his cabin. Now, David Burns fought in the French Indian War, and this was the North American theater of the global 7 Years' War. This pitted the British colonists and their native allies against the French and their own indigenous allies. And the French Indian War led to the Revolutionary War. And of course, the dates were 1754 to 1763. Now, David Burns fought in General Edward Braddock's army that was part of the British campaign to drive out the French. Also, part of this army was a very young George Washington, who was an aide-de-camp. Now, in 1755, Braddock's army suffered a disastrous defeat near what is now modern-day Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I tried to find David Burns' exact rank, but it's not really documented. But his participation suggests that he was part of the colonial militia, or these ranger units that supported the British regulars. These colonial militias were made up of citizen soldiers, and they were trained in guerrilla-like warfare. Oh history, how we repeat it. Now, after his time in the military, David Burns returned to his land in Maryland and his farming life. And then he served in the Revolutionary War, which went well until he clashed with George Washington because he did not want to cede his land to the government for the White House. He died in 1799, 1 year before the completion of the original structure of the White House, and everything else was inherited by his daughter. For more details,